What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be painting up this 2.5-inch splash mouth popper in a bass pattern per Conrad 15's request. I finally got smart and I'm screenshotting your guys' request and I have them saved in a folder on my phone so I don't forget them. Now when it comes to bass patterns, there's a million different variations, so we're just going to throw down some paint, see where that gets us, and then we can build off of this paint job from there. The blank we're using is a 2.5-inch splash mouth popper from Barlow's Tackle. I will have these available in the description below if you guys would like to pick some up for yourselves. Since this blank is already kind of a bone white or white color, I'm not going to worry about doing any sort of base coat on it. If your blank is transparent, I would recommend doing a base coat of white first because we want our colors that we're getting ready to spray on there to be a little bit vibrant. First base color we're going to be doing is going to be a wicked opaque bismuth yellow. The game plan for the yellow is we're going to spray kind of the side of the bait, and then we'll kind of have it, we're basically going to do the whole side of the bait. I'm not worried about the top, and I'm going to try to fade it into the belly because I kind of like this color being like our belly color. So we're just going to try to keep it simple. We'll spray the whole side of the bait and then we'll layer some more colors on top of it. Okay, next color up is going to be a pearlized satin gold. Now, this says on the back of here, airbrush 0.5 tip size, 40 to 50 psi, thin for smaller tip sizes and lower psi settings. So the airbrush I'm using has got the 0.3 size needle in there. I did just order another kit. Somebody asked me to do a review video on that has the 0.5 needle. So I think what I'll do is have two different setups. One that's got the 0.3 and the other one will have the 0.5. So I'm gonna try to thin this and we'll see if we can get it to run through there decent. So coming soon will be another starter kit with a pump and airbrush and all that good stuff. But I'm going to thin this and I don't need a lot, so I'm hoping we can get just a little bit sprayed out. Game plan for the pearl satin gold is we're going to go along the back of the bait and I'm going to hit up here on the gill plate and the eye socket, that whole area, and kind of along right where it goes from the side to the back. So right along that ridge, and we'll kind of fade it, try to have it stop before that center line running down the side of the bait. I'm going to hair dry this because I do have it pretty thin, so those colors, so it's a little bit easier to blow your paint out or make it run. So I'm gonna hair dry it real quick and we'll add just a little bit more, like one more layer to make it a little bit more saturated. That actually worked pretty good. Thinning it, I think I did 4 drops of the paint and then 4 drops of the 4011 reducer. And it seemed like it sprayed pretty good, so that's good to know. Okay, next color, we're going to take a transparent leaf green and we're going to do kind of like a dusting. I'm gonna very, very lightly spray over top of that pearl satin gold. So what I'm hoping for here is that the gold's still going to show through, but it's going to have kind of like a green hue to it. So the green and gold can kind of dance together, sparkle back and forth, and then we'll add some darker layers on top of that. When I do what I call the dustings, I hold the airbrush a little bit further away. That way the spray pattern kind of widens out before it hits the bait, and it's not too concentrated in one area. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but it definitely has got the green gold. I think I'm going to go a little bit heavier up around where the eye is going to be. And this don't have to be perfect. We're going to cover up most of these colors with some other colors, but I do like whenever it shifts from gold to green. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Okay, I'm going to clean out the airbrush. We'll hair dry this, and then we can go ahead and put our scale netting on. All right, the scale netting that we're going to be using is this one. I went for one that's got pretty small circles on there. Rather than bigger ones, since the bait's so small, it should make it look a little bit more realistic. Next color up is going to be a Wicked Colors Highlight Gold. If you don't have this color, no big deal. Normal opaque white or a pearlized white or even a silver, whatever works for you. We're just going to be doing this as the belly color. So we'll be spraying it down here along the bottom of the bait and then kind of having it fade up over top of our pearl satin gold that we did earlier. I'm gonna hair dry that real quick. And we'll do one more pass. And next up, we're going to be taking that same leaf green that we did earlier, and we'll be mixing it with a transparent light brown. I'm gonna go heavier on the green. Looking at pictures of bass, it's so hard to try to break down what color is what. So we're just going to be trying this and see what happens here, because they always have like a little hue of green, and then sometimes there's a little hue of brown. So I figured let's mix the two. I'm also going to add a little bit of reducer. That was 4 drops of the leaf green and 1 drop of the brown. I think I'm going to go 1 more drop brown, kind of getting it more of like a moss color. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to get that loaded up in the airbrush. And we're going to be taking that green mixture we just did and spraying it all along the back of the bait. And we'll have it fade in to that highlight gold that we did just a little bit ago. I'm also going to hit up on the front around the eye just a little bit. And then when we take the stencil off, I'll spray some more. Pretty juicy looking, folks. With that same green mixture still loaded up in the airbrush, I'm going to go ahead and spray the whole back of the bait, and then I'm going to go around the eyes just a little bit more. And next I'm going to take it off of the helping hands, and I'm just putting it on a soft foam so I don't scratch it on the table, because up next we're going to be adding those spots on the side. Now I don't have a stencil for that, but what I do have is this is called, I think this is called a sea sponge. Sea sponge, let me Google that real quick. Yep, they're called Professional Artist Natural Ocean Sponges. I didn't know this was for professionals, folks. Look at me leveling up. I got it from Hobby Lobby a long time ago. The one piece goes a long ways. The reason I like using this is because you get a very natural looking pattern, but the problem is if you're trying to make these baits and sell them, you kind of want them all to look the same, so you might end up wanting to find a stencil that'll work. We're going to try this though and see how this little piece I tore off looks. I'm just taking some opaque black and we're going to dip this in the cap. Yes. Just gotta make sure I can get it in a nice little line there. Let's try a different piece. I don't want the spots to be too wide because this bait's so small. That's it right there. And I'm just going to try to go down right down the center of the bait. All there is to it. I'm going to hair dry that. That looks cool. All right, let's try, see if we can get it somewhat close on the other side. About halfway, I'll flip the sponge over so you get kind of a different pattern break there. Try to add a little bit more up on the face. See how that looks compared to this side? Kind of like this side a little better. Hey, we'll still take it. I like it. Okay, let's put this back on our helping hands. One thing I'm noticing is you can't really see scale pattern too much below that, so you might end up needing to do a darker color other than that highlight gold, but I mean the bait, I'm still happy with it. Still looks good. Okay, next I'm going to come back in with a little bit more of that light brown. I want to darken up the back of the bait, but I don't want that black to be very much because we already have so much black on the side of the bait. So my plan is to basically do a dusting where it kind of fades right. You can see that ridge line right there. So I'm gonna have it fade right in there, and then we'll come back in with some black and darken just the very center of the back. I'm gonna hit it around the eyes just a hair. And real quick, since this is a popper, we're going to go ahead and add some bright red to the mouth. We'll spray the whole inside of the mouth, and then I want to try to have it fade under the lip just a little bit. I want to have it fade before that first hook tie. Alright, we're going to call it quits there. I decided to go ahead and do the side of the mouth because the splash portion's got that cutout from the mouth to where the gill is. And so that part was red, so it looked a little weird. So I went ahead and did the edge of the mouth red. And I see one little spot I missed here. Alright, now we can take that black and try to darken up the back of the bait a little bit. I'm gonna add just a little bit of shading up there on the eye. All right, I'm gonna call it quits there because I'll end up going too far with it. Alrighty, last thing that this bait needs is some eyes. And I've got a dab of glue there. I got these guys, kind of like a little bit yellow, gold, kind of bronze look to them. And there we have it, folks. One little bass pattern. I do wish our scales would have showed up slightly better on the belly there, and maybe they might pop a little bit more once that clear coat goes on. And I'm also thinking we need something right up here at the top, like between our big spots on the side and the black on the back. But I really like the way this looks, and I'm scared I'm gonna end up screwing it up. So we're just gonna call this one good where it's at, and then you guys can let me know what you think on that, if we should add some more black speckles, or maybe I can do some like little bitty dots like splatter, something like that. Regardless, we have a pretty nice start of a bass pattern here. And also, these are all the colors I used. If anybody was trying to, I think that somebody had asked if I could put them in the description, which if you guys want that, let me know. I can do that, or I can do it this way. I have opaque white here as optional in case your blank is transparent. You'll probably want to do a base coat of white first. But there is all the colors I used if you want to take a screenshot or pause the video so you can write them down. All that is left to do on this bait is get some clear coat on it. Then we'll be able to see if that scale color on the bottom there pops a little bit better, and then we'll know for the next one. So I'll get the clear coat taken care of, and then we can come back and take a look at what it looks like all finished up.